This film also had the creepiest Santa. And you could,
oh my god,
yeah!
We need to find the fourth dimension, and by finding all these tiny little perfect things that happen in our neighborhood or in our town or whatever, we're gonna find the fourth dimension, and we're missing one. I'll pick Andrew Garfield. Peter 3.
Peter 3.
Ooh, that comic book filter.
This green ball?
This green tennis ball is Vecna, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We're talking about Chippendales the dancers, right? Not Chippendales the chipmunks? Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
Can't copyright us fools, cause this is not the song you know. Hello, cinema peeps.
Hey, cinema peeps.
Ooh, I'd say it's, well, I don't know. I was very warm because I was outside, and now I'm cold.
Really?
The basement is so cold. I shouldn't complain because we have wonderful air conditioning.
Yes.
But I guess according to my father, like the other levels are fine, but because it's in the basement, it has to pump out more cold air so it reaches the higher levels of the house.
Yes, that makes
so
sense.
then my basement becomes an ice box, which is fine until yesterday when I was working, and then I went to the bathroom and I was like, are my lips blue? I was like, huh. Go upstairs. Hey, so like, are my lips blue? And my mom's like, oh my god. So it's a wee bit nippy sometimes. A wee bit nippy.
Just a bit nippy. Kaylee emerges from the basement dressed like Jon Snow with the big fur coat on. She's like, winter is coming.
Unless they have like Edward Snart show up in a nice furry poncho. Be beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. The weather forecast keeps saying it's gonna rain, but
Yar.
it never does. The character, the weather wizard from The Flash, I think he lives on my end of town because every other place in the city gets rain except for my side of town for some reason. It's like it disappears the second it comes towards my area. It's like, hello, we'd like some rain too, please.
Some hate.
Yeah.
Let's say, what a throwback from episode 1 of The Flash, considering we finally had the series conclusion.
Yeah, man, an end of an era. Did you watch it?
I did. So, funny story. I thought I was only like maybe 1 or 2 behind, and then everyone on Instagram was like, "Tonight's the last." I was like, "What the fuck? Am I gonna sleep?" But at the same time, I was kind of happy. Like I knew it was gonna be a 4-parter, so then at first I was like, "I'll just watch 2. I'll watch another 2 tomorrow," and then I just watched all 4 because I was like, "I'm already here. Why not?"
Yeah.
And it's, off my plate.
Off your plate now.
Did you I'm assuming you
Oh, yes, we did. We definitely did. Yeah, we had our usual finale celebration. When Arrow ended, we had a little finale party send-off where we'd order Mount Fuji and get like a little dessert to celebrate while we watched the show.
Aww.
And so we did that again this time for The Flash.
You cuties. You cuties.
Just to make it special.
Right? But yeah, so I think, I don't know, I feel this episode is just going to be our thoughts on the series finale of Flash, and
I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum on this podcast, so, last
Yay!
Last one, here we go. Cheers, everybody. Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, yeah. Oh. What side's better? All my letters
there
are
we
missing.
Go. There we go. I have to fix it for you, but
yeah, you come back down and give me my letters.
Hell yeah.
Give me my letters.
Give me my letters.
Give me my letters. Give me the alphabet soup. Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
It's the I keep seeing like posts of being like it's the end, starting with Arrow, ending with Flash. Even though Superman and Lois is still airing, I guess everyone was like, don't care, I guess.
Yeah, they somehow found a way to detach themselves from the Arrowverse.
Right. Same with I forgot like they did Gotham Knights. I forgot I was gonna watch it. So busy. But I heard on the grapevine or the internet that I guess because I guess they're airing season 3 right now, or just wrapping up with season 3 of Superman and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not get picked up again.
Uh-oh.
There's something happening with CW in general, because it sounds like it was like it's a finance thing that I guess the episodes are a little too expensive to do.
Oh,
so
really?
they're either going to either Superman and Lois is going to get at least another season, or depending how Gotham Knights do on ratings, that basically one of them's getting slaughtered. It's the Harry Potter Lord Voldemort thing. We both cannot be alive. One of us must die.
Yeah.
Or no, him and Neville. No? I'm not sure what I had
one of them.
In my brain I had the analogy, but now it's like all lost in all the pieces.
I got what you were saying.
Thank you. But yeah, basically both shows will not be around.
Yeah, it sounds like
one or the other.
There's a merger or some sort of thing. I don't know if that's the same thing. I know they were talking about that a while ago. I don't know if it's still the same thing, but there was some sort of merger happening with CW. They're getting bought out. And it sounds like they're wanting to change things and start like with a clean slate. So I think they're kind of wiping all the superhero shows off the table now. And
to be fair, like
including Winchester's also got dropped.
I was gonna say superhero shows are not the only ones targeted. There's a lot of shows in the CW that are being
a lot of the classic CW shows that you would know CW for are being kind of like thrown off and into the wind.
Right. And a lot of people aren't happy about it.
No, not at all. No.
It's hard to know like what is happening behind the scenes, and like that's where I'm at. Like I want to know. I want Legends to get fucking the conclusion season, those bastards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know.
It's hard
like,
to say,
I mean, I hope
honestly.
for the best, but obviously deep down I really hope this new merger crashes and burns, but that's just me.
Sometimes people don't know how people don't know what works until they do something else and then realize, okay, that actually worked. Maybe let's go back to that or something.
They're like,
I don't know.
Oops, lady, my bad.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, but now it's too late, motherfuckers. Too late.
Now it's too late, baby. Now it's too late. But yes. Also shout out to Katie Lotz. I think you probably saw her post too. She was partaking in the writer's strike on Superhero Day. And she had posted a nice little thing that the AV Club wrote in regards to the Arrowverse. She called it a eulogy for the Arrowverse, which was kind of nice. And I read it and I thought it was really good. And it was nice that they had, with each kind of bit that they talked about, they had little clips from like first introducing Barry on Arrow and then them coming together and then all the other ones. So there was little clips to watch in between watching the article or reading the article. And I read it right before the very last episode of Flash. And I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I keep getting now fed stuff on YouTube, like compilations of like stuff from like old episodes and like across the series that I've been indulging in a lot lately.
Nice.
Just trying to relive the good old days.
The good old days, yeah.
Relive them all. But I mean, I'm sure we'll say this 100 times during the episode. Like, whatever, like, I'm happy for all the actors and actresses, and I'm excited for whatever stuff they come up with in the future.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whether that be, like, continuing acting or directing or, like, literally anything. Like, those guys are all just incredible. And, yeah.
They've shone through past the characters that they played, and they've become an integral part of that community, that fandom, but just people in general. You can see it through their performance and just how they, showed up for everything. They're all pretty stand-up people, and I want to support them.
Where to start?
Well, okay, well, what's your first impressions?
My first impressions is that I want to call him, his name's not Ricky. Maybe that's his real name. But the actor who plays Eddie needs to play more fucking villains. Like, holy fucking crap.
That's what I said to Zenna.
I was looking on his IMDb and I was like, bro, missed opportunity. Give this man like voiceover, like anything. Like he will fucking crush. Like, what the fuck?
He was good. I truly, like, we'll dive into it, but I was saying, like, they missed out on an opportunity to really build up him as a villain. Like, Oh, so like, in my personal opinion, I mean, everyone has their thoughts, but I feel like everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths should have just, like, been trashed, and they should have, like, immediately jumped into this season and had the whole season be, you know, Eddie's back and kind of building him up in the background, and then having that the Ramsey guy, because they did, like, a little bit of a storyline with him, I think either around Infinite Earths or somewhere around there, but it never amounted to anything. Everybody was just kind of like, "Who the hell is this dude?" And then he kind of just went away, and then they never really resolved it, and then they brought him back. So it was like they should have had him as, like, kind of like the forefront of stuff, and then Eddie in the background trying to figure out why he's here, all this stuff, you know, him kind of grieving over Iris and really building up that whole, like, hatred and the jealousy and the negative Speed Force kind of consuming his mind. That would have been so cool.
Right, but even the time he fucking knocked that shit out of the park.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It was like, what a home run. Like I said, I was going through his IMDb and I was like, are you sure he has not played any other villain? Like, homeboy, give him all the roles.
Yeah, right?
Give him all the roles.
Yeah, I just wish they would have taken that 4-parter of the finale and had that been the entire season. They could have really, like, made it, like, sizzle and marinate and just, oh, it would have been yummy.
Yummy little stir fry.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I don't want to dive into critiques right off the bat, but there was a couple times, like, in terms, like, I don't know, maybe you feel the same way, like some scenes, like the way were cut, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
There was, like, weird little, like, I guess, like, because that weird, like, I can't remember what they call it, the singularity or the thing that I guess was teleporting Eddie, like, that to me was not very clear until I think, Excess brought it up, I guess.
You're right, yes.
Because he'd just be somewhere and then he would cut and they're like, oh, now he's in the past and he's in the future. I was like,
it took Xena and I a while to figure out that
I fucking miss something. Like, I wasn't even like, so sometimes I'm like I said, sometimes I'm on my phone and I'm bad and I know that I should be better. But I made sure I was like, I'm watching, and I was like, did I fucking like blink and miss something?
No, they didn't establish
things,
that.
Like editing wise. I was like, I don't know if you want to call it editing or just like, not really pacing, but like, yeah, I just felt like there was like one scene that was maybe cut.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I guess we're here. Like,
yeah.
We just have to accept it, I guess.
Right? Yeah, we were confused as to like what era his laboratory was in, and like when he gets struck by the lightning and becomes the cobalt blue guy or whatever. We're like, was that 2049? Is that present day?
Right, that's what I was under the impression too. And then he ended up going to the past, I guess. But then I was also confused because the police officer he was talking to, like, they're like, oh yeah, she died.
Yeah.
But I guess she didn't, because at the end scene with all the, spoiler alert, all the bad speedsters, she was in the tunnel with the other police officers, I'm pretty sure, unless there was just a girl who looked very similar. So I didn't get that. I was like, am I dumb?
Yeah, I'm like, there's a new captain all of a sudden? Like, what? Yeah.
Right, but obviously, and then I was wondering, I was like, is because, you know, the seems weird, these words coming out of my mouth, like the negative Speed Force is trying to manipulate Eddie. Yeah. So is he really in these places, or is, like, you know, it is like a set up scenario for the negative Speed Force, but then obviously not, because he's interacting with other characters who are there, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it was a little confusing, yeah.
What? Again, one of those moments where I'm like, am I stupid? Did I, like, sneeze and miss?
Right?
But then, I mean, then he would just, like, his fucking face. That's what it was. Like, his face, where you could see him going through this turmoil. I was like, I'm back in, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. You got me. I'll sit down and shut the fuck up. I'll sit down and shut the fuck up. It looks great.
And that one bit there where he was fighting Barry in his apartment and he just decked him in the face.
Whew.
Oh, Zena's like, wow, they actually showed blood? Like, woo.
I like how they showed blood, but then they made everything else red.
Yeah.
They're like, oopsie, if everything else is red, you don't know what's blood.
Yeah.
Oopsie-daisy. But yeah, I think that was probably probably my standout highlight was just Eddie.
Definitely.
But then again, I was kind of, I know I shouldn't be nitpicking, but I'm also, like, confused when they're like, the negative Speed Force brought him back. And I'm like, okay, I guess so. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think because part of me was almost sold on the idea, because, like, as we saw multiple flashbacks from season 1, you know, Eddie shoots himself, and then he gets sucked into this
singularity thing or whatever. Yeah,
right. So I was like, maybe it would be cool if, like, even though I think it was pretty well established that when he gets sucked in, he is very much dead.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool then if, like, because again, like, you have the not the wells, but you have Reverse Flash come back every time, and you're like, well, why isn't Eddie dead? So shouldn't that nullify? But there's always like weird loopholes. But then that would kind of be the best explanation, that they thought Eddie sacrificed himself, but really he ends up living. He's trapped in the singularity for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Forgets who he is, and that's why. Because then again, I'm like, why is he in this lab?
Yeah.
Is it just to show the parallel of him and, like, Barry having, like, the same journey, but a different outcome?
Yeah.
Because then I didn't quite get that. So then it was confusing, because then they're like, oh, well, the Nightmares were brought back to life. And I'm like,
I feel like, again, like the to me, this seems like one of those scenarios where this cult, again, I don't read the comics, so if this is the case, then disregard everything I'm saying. But like this Cobalt Blue character clearly had his own origin, maybe similar to Barry's in that sense. So they tried to integrate it with Eddie's character, but because Eddie's character was already established and had his own storyline and had other things he was doing, it just didn't compute very well. Like, yeah.
Right? Because then it begs the question, like, how long has he been around?
Yeah.
So I think they kind of they were almost about to touch upon, they're like, oh, like, how long has he been, like, doing this? And they're like, never mind. We asked that question, but we actually don't care about the answer. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You're just going to be here because you're going to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Fucker. Although, I mean, I did enjoy all the evil speedsters back together.
It was cool to see them all back together, though I feel like it was short-lived and a little
100%.
What's the word I'm looking for? A little underwhelming, because the fact that Allegra just kicked Reverse Flash's ass immediately, I was like, what?
Like, no offense, girl, you badass, you badass girl.
Yeah, like, but this villain has been, like, around this entire time. He's undefeatable. We're like, oh shit, what's he gonna do? And all of a sudden she's just like, boop, and then he's gone, right? Like,
I mean, I guess to be fair, last season Barry just sat down and apparently he died. And I was like, okay,
I guess
that's where we're at now at this point in time. I was like, all right, I'm here. We can do this. All right, and break,
yeah.
And then they're like, and I thought for sure, I was like, did they just kill Chester? I was like, bro, it's last episode. You just motherfucking killed Chester.
I know, right?
And then they're just like, oh yeah, surprise, you still have Black Hole. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, my brain kind of like switched off. I was like, I can't. No, yeah. This is I'm just gonna black out, black hole this out of my mind. I'm just like, what?
Unfortunately, there was too much like plot holes that they left unanswered. I'm assuming because they're hoping, because it's like with Barry choosing those 4 different new speedsters or 3 or whatever, that there's potential.
Again, that was another time my brain just turned off because I was like, and again, that's kind of where my brain went too. I was like, the potential of spin-offs, but at the same time, reading about Superman and Lois, I'm like, I just don't think they're going to. I mean, I'm sure they just wanted to put it out there. And again, you mentioned, we have no knowledge of the comics. I did see, and that's where I thought, I was like, I bet there's something in the comics. Mm-hmm. And I did see, I was going to say a meme. It's not really a meme, but it was a post showing the live action versus the speedster characters.
I did see that too, yeah.
So they are in there. Maybe they just wanted to integrate it because. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, they just wanted to, do a shout out to that. And that is that. We're just not going to touch this anymore.
Maybe, yeah.
It's just, no.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then, again, I love Caitlin, but, like, in all due respect, what the actual fuck? Like, I don't feel I've been gaslit so hard in my life. They're just like, who is Keon? Like, what's happening? And I'm like, of course, she's a goddess. And I'm like, like, what does that mean? Like, I know that sounds stupid, but like, it seems weird that that's where my line is, or there's like meta-humans, gods,
they tried to introduce way too many new things
like,
that were way too confused. Yeah, it was just
like, did you
much.
not feel I felt gaslit. They're like, of course she's a goddess, you dum-dum. And I'm like, why would I assume that? They've been doing meta powers. Why?
Yeah, it was confusing.
Why? And it's like, who knows why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't really explain if, like, Keon was, like, part of them or I don't know. And then she just, like, yeeted out of there. And then Caitlyn's like, hey, what's up? Bear's like, hey, remember when I was a dick to you last season? And she's like, yeah, it's water on the bridge. I'm like, is it though? Because, like, did you die? She said she was alive. And I was like, huh?
I was like, we're almost at...
Yeah, I was like, we're almost at the finish line, Kaylee.
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Just keep going. Run, Kaylee, run. Just run, Kaylee, run.
Run, Kaylee, run. Yeah. For what they were trying to do, I will say I'm glad they brought Caitlyn back. I would have been more angry if they had just let Keon go and she was done. That's it. Because I feel like they didn't give Caitlyn a proper goodbye. And so letting her come back and kind of reunite with Barry, getting the chance to reunite with, or maybe that was Keon, I can't remember, but someone gets to reunite with Wells, which was cool, and it was nice to see them together again. But yeah, for whatever they were doing, it worked. I was happy for that. So,
although yes, I will agree, it was nice to have Caitlyn back. I was sad that Cisco did not make an appearance.
Yeah.
Again, maybe there was a scheduling thing.
Yes. So yeah, but from what I was told, it was a scheduling thing between the Up Here show that he's doing on Disney Plus and this, and he just could not make it work. So yeah. Plus his hair's short in it too, so maybe the continuity probably wouldn't. I'm sure they'd find a way to explain it, but
exactly. And I mean, that's kind of what I figured, you know? And just that was the only thing I was accepting in that moment. I was like, he's just busy, that's all.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just not come on the show.
Right. They got Tom Cavanaugh back, so it would have been nice. Like, it would have been nice to see like the scene where Barry's hugging Caitlyn after she comes back. It would have been nice if Cisco was there to have just like the three of them hugging each other again, because they were the original Team Flash, so that would have been nice. But
life happens, so that's okay. That's all right. What was my thought? I was also thinking another character was Barry's son. I don't think he made an appearance at all this season. Jordan Fisher. I don't think, at least.
I think you might be right. I don't think he did make an appearance this season.
But I guess at the same time, I think he was in a flashback, but like that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this whole season, right, was the birth of Nora. So maybe having Bart there might be too much. You know?
Too much. Although, was it not weird that Nora was at her own birth? Was I the only one who was a little bit bothered by that?
Immediately, everyone's like, is that breaking some rules?
Nah. You're good. Yeah.
Flashback to like season 1. They're like, don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Now they're like, fuck it.
Interacting with yourself could have so many damages to the timeline.
Here, do you want to hold yourself, Nora? Here you go.
Yeah.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Papa John's. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Timelines. I think, those were the only major players missing. I feel like that I would have minded to see appearance of for this last bit, but life gets busy and that's okay.
Right? Like, I guess the highlight is, even though I felt maybe now, because knowing how the whole season ended and what the main storyline actually was, the stuff with Batwoman and Red Death really wasn't needed or necessary, because it really didn't connect with anything that was happening. It felt like there was 3 separate storylines going on. There was the Red Death, there was the episode with Ramsey and Oliver Queen, and then there was this stuff with Eddie. So I mean, it was nice that she got at least to come back and do something, but it just didn't make, like, it just really didn't amount to anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, this whole season was like a
mishmash.
Yeah. Like, on one hand, it's like, why don't you just focus on these things? But I get that it's the last season, so they wanted to, like, do any, like, because again, there's, like, we were talking about it weeks ago, but the girls episode with Sugar,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, if it was a normal season, I'd be like, yeah, this was great. This is a nice little side episode. But then when you're like, oh, it's final season and this is how we're spending our time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, a lot of mishmash feelings, but
and too, again, like no hate to the Team Flash characters and stuff like that. But if this was established earlier on in the show, or maybe if there was another season, I felt like this season in particular, like the Team Flash kind of carried the story a lot, and Barry was just kind of in the background or popped in every now and then.
yeah.
So again, I don't know what the goal was in doing that, if it was because of scheduling with Grant, or if they were trying to like push these guys forward to see if maybe they could have a chance to do their own show, or whatever the reason is, right? I just felt like, again, for what they were trying to tell, it was just kind of like, I don't know, it didn't really work for me. I wasn't a fan of it. But yeah.
Oh. That was a weird noise that came out of my mouth. So taken aback. Well, because I can't remember if it was Grant who said this, or Candace. Maybe she posted an article about Grant saying, very confusing, but somebody posted it and talking about how, like, once Grant was like, yeah, think I'm done, I'm ready to hang out. He did talk about the possibility of, like, there was that talk of like, oh, maybe we could continue without him. But then I think the actors were like, there's no show.
Yeah.
We want to do this together and not, separate. So
yeah.
You never know. Maybe they were kind of like, testing things, but
maybe.
I would argue it's probably not the time to do that, but hey.
Exactly, yeah.
Arrow also had their own random spin-off episode to try to, pick up a pilot with like Maya, in the future that never got picked up, which I was also disappointed about. But yeah. Yar. Yar. Yar.
Yeah.
Yar. Sorry, Mike. Yar.
Yar. And I will say to shout out to Zena's brother Sean, because she was sharing a point that he made in watching the show as well. He said, because there hasn't been a whole lot of like deaths, like shocking deaths of characters or stuff like that. Obviously, if appropriate for the storyline, but he says like sometimes killing off the character or letting them die, it has more shock value than like reviving them or like not killing them at all. You know what I mean? Like in some aspects, again, of course, if it's for the storyline appropriate, but yeah, he kind of made a good point about that of not letting that shock factor be allowed in some, some scenarios.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was always the whole tricky thing with like the Arrowverse in general. Like someone could die, but then it's like, oh, this is Earth 2 version of them. So sometimes it was like kind of nice because then you're like, hey, you can come back, and then the character has to deal with this like, you're not who I think you are, kind of thing. But
then there was a totally random side note, but the part where Joe proposes to Cecile, I was like, I thought they were already married. And then like Nora and Henry are in the background. I'm like, which is that? Like, is this alternate universe Nora and Henry? Is this past Nora and Henry? Like, who are these? Like, who is this? Right?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who you messing? Who you messing with me?
Messing with me?
Who's messing with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they established that is the Nora from the new timeline.
Okay.
Right.
I'm like, or is it Jay Garrick and like his wife or whatever? Like they never really. It was just they were there in the background, and I'm like,
yeah. I think they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I got because Nora. I was thinking of their daughter Nora, and I was like, pretty sure that's the. But yeah, I think these guys are from the Earth 3 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta say, after a long, like, I love these superhero shows, but I am maybe kind of relieved that I no longer have to use so much brain power to remember Like, did this not have, like, what? I will say, like, I'm sure writing it was probably very difficult, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think regardless of any show, like, when you've been on the air for so long, like,
yeah,
you gotta hit those hiccups, but, like...
And if their hands are tied, too, like, if there's some rules or regulations from production that they have to follow and obey as well, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm gonna miss the show.
It was a good show, and I will say that I'm happy, at least, that, they're finally admitting and agreeing that, considering it's a TV, production, that it's the only other DC kind of universe thing that's been a success besides the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, suck it, Zack Snyder.
You suck it, motherfucker. Suck it. I will say, I found the end very cute when he was, like, talking to baby Nora, like, the same words, like, from the pilot.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really... I mean, I'm sure that wasn't what the intention was way back, but I feel like there was a nice, like, throwback.
To tie it all together. I thought that was good.
I was like, that's very cute. And I think it was Grant who posted this, but they were talking about the birthing scene with the baby, and Grant's like, the baby's peeing on you, and Candace's like, no. She goes, yeah, that I felt something, and the baby was peeing on me.
Oh, no.
I was like, wow, what a trooper. Holy shit.
That's funny.
But even she said, like, the baby was covered in goop and all that shit, so it was already like, well, we're in it, I guess, so let's just go with it.
Let's make it real.
It's real life now, baby.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'm gonna miss the show. I'm gonna miss it. Even though I know we just sat here, like, complaining about all these little weird nitpicky things, but that's just because we love the show so much and we just wanted to see it be phenomenal.
Yeah, we wanted to, have a good send-off and have all the characters, have good wrap-ups in their storyline, and yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen. Not every show is going to nail it, from start to end. They tend to kind of lose steam sometimes, but yeah, I still appreciate the show and enjoy the show regardless.
I mean, I think if anything, it just makes me want to go back and rewatch episode 1.
Oh yeah.
And go through the whole journey again. So I mean, if I want to do that, I guess to a degree I love and enjoy the show.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think I have any more final thoughts about it. Do you have any last little thoughts or quips or anything?
I guess just that, I don't know. It's really, really cool how they were able to achieve such a massive, like, thing with all of this. Again, according to an article I read, Greg Berlanti, the guy who created all of these shows and kind of is like the showrunner of everything, he had no intention of starting this Arrowverse. He wanted to do Arrow, kind of like, he was inspired by Christian Bale's Batman version. So he wanted to kind of do like a dark sort of DC CW show with Arrow, and then it just happened to fall into his lap that, hey, let's bring Barry into this, and it worked really well, and it grew from there. And I just think it's really cool how they were able to achieve that and have all the characters be really beloved. And as much as the actors themselves have said it was brutal, having to do the crossovers because it was so much work and so many hours, but and again, with the budget they had, they could only do so much CG, which over the years has very obviously evolved. But it was just really well done, I think. And it was it was enjoyable to watch, just as much as the Marvel universe has been going to the movie theaters and seeing it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. So, yay. Thank you, Arrowverse, for being an entertaining franchise for everyone to watch and tune into, and yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, who knows what the next era of CW is, but I hope it crashes and burns. I mean, I hope it does really well. My bad.
We'll see.
Crash and burn. But anyways, I think that'll do it for today's podcast.
Yeah, and I think, who knows? We won't say never, but that'll probably be the last real dedicated Arrowverse podcast episode that we have, unless we decide to go back and watch all the episodes and record episodes on it. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like you said, never say never. You never know.
Never say never. Yep.
You never know. But I mean, we'll never not talk about, but yeah. Probably having a full dedicated episode again is probably gonna be brain.
Few and far between.
Thank you. Brain can't function. Failing. Shut down. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let us know down in the comments down below. Have you? I mean, it'd be weird if you've watched this episode and have never seen the Flash show ever. But like, what did you guys think of the finale? Or would you want to rewatch Flash? Let us know in the comments down below. And also, leave us a deuce. If you know, you know. And consider subscribing to Two Pretty Cool Gals, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, watch all the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey.
Monkey.
And... Oh.